Hey everyone, Sean Clement here for Golf WRX, and we're going to put the finishing touches on our backhand series. And here's a perfect example for that cut chip before we get into the flop shot. We saw the bunker shot, but you'll see what leads into that. So I've got a downhill slope to a downhill landing, and I got to trickle down to the hole. So if you want to go ahead and pan just to show what the hole looks like. There we go. So I basically want to land it on the fringe, a little hop, and then trickle down to the hole. Now if I take my normal stance and my normal club face and I chip it out of this light rough with a square face, it'll land and just take off on me. So I got to really deaden the impact on this thing. So that's when we open it up. So we're going to open the face. So obviously you let go, you open the face, you take your grip, and we're going to open it about 30 to 45 degrees. And the key to this shot is to be able, so again, we're cutting through a dandelion stem. That's a dandelion in disguise. And I see the stem, so what I'm basically doing is I'm sawing through the stem. Imagine some teeth on the leading edge of the club, and I'm basically sawing through the stem from heel to toe. And because it's a lob wedge and I have a lot of loft, it will not go along the face of the club, it'll only go along the path. If I had a driver and I have 10 degrees of loft and I open it that much, yes, I'm going to have to make concessions for direction. But here I don't. So all I need is a little intermediate point. I got a little blade of grass sticking out right there. So I see my dandelion stem, and I'm just going to let the weight of my arms cut through the dandelion stem in the direction that I want the ball to go. So, see how it lands nice and dead? Oh, come on, get in. How about them apples? Ball disappeared. So there's the classic example on how we do it. Let me show you from behind what it looks like so you can see that I'm not making any concessions for direction. So my intermediate point is right here. There's a little break to the left, so I'm going over the right edge of that intermediate point. So I'm lined up, ball off the back foot, club face open. I see my dandelion stem, and I'm just cutting through the dandelion stem in that direction. You see how nice and soft that lands? So that in essence, now I've got an easy 2-footer straight up the hill to hit my putt. So it was either a nice par or, hey, we made a birdie. How about that? Okay. So here's what backhanders are great at, and this is what's going to lead into that. So you notice I'm just letting the weight of my arms and club cut through the stem. So my hands are already forward and I'm letting it fall through the stem. Now that you see that the face of the club won't affect direction, this is going to really help you do the flop shot. Now, flop shot is part of the fade family. So we're going to play the club in the center and the ball forward of the club, open up the face, aim a little right of the intermediate point, so a little right of the target right here, and then I'm going to stay to the right of the target with my dandelion stem cut. So I'm just cutting a dandelion stem as usual, right? So I've got an intermediate point. You see a nice leaf right there. There's another one right there. I'm going to stay to the right of that. So club in the center. So I take my alignment and I'm going to the right of that. Club in the center, ball forward. Now I'm just going to, focus on my dandelion stem, and I'm cutting through the dandelion stem to the right of that leaf. The ball should land on top of the hump there and hopefully just trickle down to the hole. So now I'm looking for, well, how much momentum am I going to need to get all the way up there? So I do a little practice swing that I feel be way too soft. So if I hit it with that, if I cut through with that much momentum, the ball's going to land in the bunker. Then I'm going to do one that I feel be way too strong. So if I do that, it'll probably land past the pin. And I'll do the one in between. I kind of like that one. So I see my stem and I'm cutting in that direction. Oh, be nice. So just a hair more momentum, and I had that one right there. I just needed about a yard and a half to 2 yards. So I got an option to do these. I'm either going to open the face a little less or use a little bit more momentum. And in this case, I would say I'm gonna close the face a little bit less, use the same momentum, and that'll just pop the ball up a little further, and it should land where I want it to land. So let me see if I can do that for you. Thank you, dear. So, my intermediate point, got it. A little less closed, got it. See the stem of the dandelion? Let the momentum cut through that stem. Oh, I've got my extra 2 yards. I needed like 1 foot. So you can see where my practice is going to be. So all we needed to do is cut through that stem. I'm really happy with the way that came out. And, you know, we'll go on to the practice tee and do a little half hour on that and we'll get it.